I am Vinnie Tortorich. Folks, your good intentions have been stolen, but don't worry. I'm here to help you get them back. You may be soft and succulent at the beginning of this process, but hang in there. Before long, you will be lean and mean, guaranteed, just like the woman on the other mic. I'm talking about the beautiful Miss Anna Vocino. Yeah. What is it? Once Upon a Time in the West. Yeah.
Oh, you sang. We got it. We got it on tape.
Yeah.
He sang a song.
I you know what? I went duet with Mark Knopfler.
You did. You did.
Are you familiar with that song, Anna?
No, I'm not familiar with that song.
Yeah, that's that's the kind of music, it's weird. I was listening to that music way back when in Louisiana. Turns out the woman who I eventually fell in love with, my wife, the beautiful Miss Serena Scott Thomas, was listening to the same music miles and miles away, an ocean away.
An ocean away.
Yeah.
A pond away.
Yeah. A complete pond away. Loving the same kind of music, Dire Straits. Yeah. Go check it out.
I heard you say schedule earlier, and I thought that's what you get for marrying a Brit. And people get on me for saying water.
Yeah.
And he says schedule. Please give him some shit on Twitter.
Yeah. And listen, I say schedule because
you added an extra shit. You're saying schedule.
Yeah.
It's schedule.
Yeah. No, not you. You know me, I'm going to screw it up.
Go all the way.
I am Marie's son, and I'm going to take it to the limit. I'm going to go all in.
How's Marie doing? She all recovered?
Marie is all recovered. By the way,
the nicest note. You want to see it?
And before you do that, I want people to know I'm going to give that out, that eathappykitchen.com thing out again at the end.
Great.
Because we just got ours. It's amazing. I feel like I cheated, and I feel like I cheated you.
It's a cheat.
Yeah.
It's a cheat. It's a cheat to make an easy dinner.
I got 25% off my second thing. And I'm trying to figure, did I get it off the dill or did I get it off the taco?
You'll never know.
Matter. You guys,
whichever you put in your cart second, probably.
You guys don't give that information out freely, do you?
Well, I think it just says it on your receipt, but
sure.
I know you don't check emails, so there you go.
Read. Okay.
Okay, read.
All right. Okay, Anna.
I'm supposed to read a novel that is email.
So wait, Marie sent you a note?
Sent me a note.
You got a card from my mother?
Yep.
Guess who never gets a card from my mother?
She wrote me a thank you card. It was really sweet.
And
she was recovering. She needed a little gravy to help her recover. So I sent her a little gravy.
Don't you love that people? Anna, let me ask a question. When you go to someone's house, like we went to my buddy Peter's house the other night, he invited us for happy hour, so cocktails. And I'm not much into drinking cocktails right now because I'm trying to recover from leukemia. But I was like, you know what? Nice little social outing. And I'll go over to see Peter and his beautiful wife. And Serena and me, we all went over there, and there was another couple. Now, the next day, I sent Peter a text because now, it used to be an automatic phone call, or you would write a little note going, thanks for having us to your home, this sort of thing. And I go to Peter's all the time. Now, if Peter and I are just hanging out in the garage doing gun talk or fixing, no. But when you get invited over properly, do you still send a message the next day? Hey, we had so much fun. This was great. Thank you.
I'll send a text. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless it's with the bestest of friends. And then I'm like, we know. We'll just see you when we see you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I still, when we get the proper invite.
Yeah, we send a text.
I send it to, even if it's my closest friends, like, hey man, we really enjoyed last night. Thank you guys for dragging us over, and that kind of thing. It might even be, it'll be more casual.
Yeah.
But is that a lost, are we lost on that now?
No, I think if someone has you over, you should write them a thank you. Hey, it was good to see, or especially too, even if it's like a big party and you don't really get to spend any time with the host, it's good to check in to say that you had a good time. It's a nice thing to do for the host to know that they threw a good party.
Okay. I think
it's just a nice gesture.
I'm wondering if people still do that overall.
I mean, it's so easy now. We have text. Just text
Right.
people.
And the text made it easy. It used to be you had to make the phone call, and now you got to do more chit chat and what
Yeah.
have you. That's why I used to send the card. I used to have the letterhead,
Yeah.
New Orleans, where
I still have the letterhead. I write notes on my letterhead all the
did
time.
you have the cards with your?
Here's what I have.
I had the thick.
When I'm sending people books or whatever, like a thank you, I just have this paper that has just the V. You know what I mean? And I write a note. It's a really nice paper.
Right.
And then I have other non-personal. I love this. I like linen paper. So this is just a single card, that has that beautiful cut edge.
Yeah. That's what I had. I had the linen paper, the thicker linen paper, and that kind of thing. And
I love writing handwritten notes. I do it all the time.
Because in the South, in New Orleans, it was, I was being invited to parties all the time. And these were these were clients, and I was able to pick up potential clients at their homes. And I just went and had all this stuff done. And then when I moved to LA and I would send the handwritten card, people thought, wait, is he a serial killer? Does he live in a basement?
I love sending handwritten cards. I do it all the time.
Yeah. People would always, as you know, Gina calls it my calligraphy pens. Here's one of them. But they're fountain pens, and no one knows how to write in cursive anymore. So if you do know how, or if you don't know how, learn.
Marie does. She wrote in cursive in my note.
Did she do good? Is she still writing well? Because she doesn't write. She just
great
calls.
penmanship.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, I don't want to hold it up too long. It's personal.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm glad that she did. It means a lot to her.
So sweet. I love her so much.
You sent her stuff, Anna. You sent her a bunch of stuff.
I enjoy doing it.
Thank you so much for doing that.
By the way, she's feeling better.
I think most of the stuff Anna sent her, there is no BOGO 25 on it, but it's because she can't keep it in stock. It's
I had to send it from what I had left here.
Yeah, it's the gravies, right? You did that, and then you put a thumbs up in your thing.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it
at all. Don't like it at all. I've never heard anybody being like, hey, I love that new thing that Zoom and StreamYard do, where you put your emojis for no reason. No one has said that they love that.
That's got to be everyone hates it. Because look, I could do this all day long.
And now it won't do it.
Nothing. But it's somewhere in your settings. Right? Let's see. No, nothing came up.
See? I have a marathon training question for you.
Ooh, I might.
Do you want to just launch into it?
Why not? But while you're asking, I'm gonna show you how talented I am. You asked the question while I'm drinking water.
Oh wow! Do you have your salts in there?
I do. I have 3.
I've had 2 of your salts.
This is a 40 ouncer, and I have 3 ultra salts in here. I just had a long conversation with my next door neighbor about electrolytes. He started using my electrolytes.
Can we talk about electrolytes?
Yeah, remind me after we talk about.
I want to talk about it because it's summer and it's scorching everywhere.
Yeah, and I'll talk about my neighbor and what we talked about. But go on, Anna.
Okay. Well, maybe this ties into the electrolytes conversation as well. So a friend of the show, John Shiroli, wrote in, and I don't think I'm divulging anything because he's already talked about his autoimmune condition.
Right.
On the show, but he wrote in asking how to train for a marathon in less than 6 weeks or 6 weeks while having autoimmune. And I think to myself, as you're drinking your electrolytes, oh my God. And so that means 6 weeks. That means this is going to be August 15th ish, the worst part of summer. And I don't know where it is. I'm assuming East Coast US. It'll be summertime.
Yeah.
How does one do that? He's in fairly good shape already.
John stays in good shape, and John knows the ins and outs of running triathlons and the whole deal.
Yeah.
I would say if he doesn't have a large base, and I'm talking about a huge base.
I was going to say, define it. Would give us numerical for huge base.
Yeah, his Saturday runs have to be north of 2 hours. Right?
Okay.
Like easy.
So like a 12 to 15 mile base.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got, and I think John runs faster in the 4 hour. I can't remember John's marathons, but I think he's faster than 4 hours. So if he's not going north of 2 hours right now on a Saturday, if he's not pounding the pavement, it's too late. I would say don't do it. Just don't do it.
Too much undue pressure?
Well, no, it's not the pressure. It's like, why hurt yourself to get there? This sounds like a buddy of his said, come on, John, you're in shape. because I used to get that all the time whenever I would finish like a 24-hour mountain bike race. And, I would always feel like it took me 3 weeks just to lick my wounds from that, easy rides, kind of get it back. Spent a lot of time at the stairs in Santa Monica where I know I'm not going to fall, that kind of thing. Get back into just long, slow distance, a little LSD and, long, slow distance on the weekends. And someone would always go, "Hey, Ben, there's a 12-hour at the summit up in Big Bear. And here's the deal. We can ride as a 2-man team." And I would go, "No." And I was like, "Come on, man, that's a walk in the park. You just did a 24-hour race." And it's like, "No, you don't understand. A 2-man," and he goes, "You just have to cover 6 hours of the race. It sounds simple, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. Because when you're a 2-manner, you're sitting for an hour and then you're getting on a bike and hammering as hard as you can for an hour, and then you're sitting for an hour. That is not that's a
crazy
race. That's a whole different kind of race. I mean, it's what we call an acid bath. I mean, the entire time going
you're
up
just in lactic acid, you mean?
Yeah, you're in you're in that zone, man. You're just bathed in acid,
zone 12,
trying not to throw up, right?
That sounds terrible.
You're right at your lactic acid threshold or over it and constantly teetering on it. Now you get to the top of the mountain where most of it is downhill and you're going, "Oh, wait, hang on. That's the easy part, Vin." No. You're crashing downhill. And by the way, most cross-country bikes, I never rode rear suspension, right? I didn't like rear suspension. So it's not like these downhill bikes that have all this travel on the front and the back, all this suspension. This is, you're doing the rock mambo, right? And you got to control that bike. You're pumping out your forearms, your triceps, your upper body is now, you want to talk about a double acid bath. Now you have the acid bath going on in your upper body. You would get to the bottom of those things and all you want to do is throw up. You spend the next 20 minutes not trying to throw up. Right. And taking things like, I called it the powder, but it was, baking soda, because your stomach will get acid.
Settle the stomach. Yeah.
Well,
it's interesting you say that because you're the guy who said, because I was going to do the HIT once a week. You're like, no, once a month.
Yeah. If that. If that,
and the HIT is 6 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever.
I'm going to paraphrase one Mr. Lance Armstrong.
Okay.
Now, yes. Yeah, folks. Yeah. Lance used drugs.
You're going to have to cue up the George Carlin, fuck Lance Armstrong bit.
Yeah. And while you're at it, fuck Lance Armstrong and his one ball. Best skit ever. Okay. And Lance even says, he goes, "Yeah, I took drugs. I did it all." But everyone was, and everyone still is, by the way, in case anyone's wondering.
Sure, of course.
So he was talking about when he first started working with Michelle, that's the American version, Michelle Ferrari, Dr. Ferrari. And he said, "Look, even if you put everyone on bread and water and everyone did the same diet and no one took any drugs, the people that will do better are the ones that can stay right at that lactic acid threshold and push, so the whole training is pushing that lactic acid threshold higher." So look at my hand. So if you're watching this on the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's say your lactic acid threshold is here. Mm-hmm. If you're doing a lot of zone 2 and some zone 3 training, you could keep pushing that lactic acid threshold up, right? So,
and that's what you want, right?
Right.
Okay.
So some coaches, like we had that marathon coach that came on the show and said, "Oh no, I can't remember his name now. I even wrote about him in my book." Zach
Bitters. Mark Allen.
No. Mark Allen agrees with me wholeheartedly. He's the guy that's written a bunch of marathon books and what have you. At any rate,
I don't remember.
He was like, no, Vin, you have to get to zone 4. You buy your brain and everything needs to see. Michelle, as we call them in America, Michelle Ferrari would say, "No, if you go above it, it starts pushing your lactic acid threshold down." Right?
Okay.
I wholeheartedly agree with that because of the aforementioned Mark Allen.
Right.
The bottom line is that you can build up that lactic acid threshold by doing just a shit ton of zone 2. And you can get into the early zone 3s and mid zone 3s if you're training really hard, if you have a really good base. But when you start going into zone 4, you start damaging that. That's why when you said to me, can I do this like once a week? It's like, nah. The Lance Armstrongs of the world did it never. I know they did it never because when he was sleeping with Sheryl Crow and he was training out in California, I would have buddies up on Stunt Road. That's a 4-mile climb in the Malibu Mountains, Santa Monica Mountains around Malibu. People go, dude, you're not going to believe this. I was going up Stunt Road the other day. I passed Lance Armstrong. He was training. Yeah, you know why you passed him? Because you were in zone 4.5. He was in zone 2.
Right.
He didn't give a shit about you passing him.
Right.
He gave a shit about the Tour de France.
Right.
That's all he cared about.
Right.
Right.
Boom.
That's what he was doing. So yeah, I had all kinds of buddies going, dude, you're not going to believe this. I passed Dave Zabriskie. Zabriskie used to go out there and train too. Dave Zabriskie. Cyclists would know who he is. It's like, no, you didn't pass Dave. Dave was training in a zone.
Right.
Right. So go try to pass Dave in that zone 6 weeks from now and see how close you get to him. Right. Because he's going to keep raising his lactic acid threshold by pushing it up from the bottom. They all use that protocol. And that's the same protocol that's being used today. That's why those guys are so fast. And all of that came out of people like, Michele Ferrari.
So getting back to the marathon thing, then so is that why you say you need a good 3 to 4 months instead of 6 weeks?
All right. So
or even longer.
All right. So I know the guy in question.
Right.
Right. And I know where his training usually is. If he has a good base, he probably needs 10, 12 weeks to do it right.
Okay.
If you don't have that kind of base, you need upwards of 20 weeks. So if someone came to me and says, Vin, I ran my first 10K and I really like going to 10K distance, what should I do? It's like, okay, before the marathon, we got to do a half marathon. So you need to see what that feels like. Yeah, but my friend says the New York Marathon, they could get me in. I don't care. Listen, you got to do it in your time, not when Boston, not when New York, not when Podunk puts on a marathon.
Which, by the way, the New York Marathon's in November. You could, if you started now, potentially be ready, but not if it was in 2 to 3 months.
Listen, folks, the reason I'm telling you, people would ask me all the time, oh, come do this double 12-hour thing with me. No, if it's not on my schedule, I'm not going to go do it because it's going to wreck me for something later. Right. Not to mention the mental gymnastics. It really fucks with you, especially if you go out there and they go, oh, here's a pro out here and this and that, and you lose in a piece of shit race because you were beat up from a race before. Then that starts fucking with you too. So
that's interesting. The mental game of it all.
The mental game. So why rush it in unless you already have the base, right? If you had a base, you can go.
So if he doesn't have a base, you're suggesting for him to choose one that's further out.
Yeah.
And get the base.
And I'm telling that to everyone. Once you do a 10K, folks, you're not ready for a marathon. I always tell people, very least, do 1 half marathon. I would tell you to do 2 or 3.
I know John's done a bunch of marathons, but
yeah, he's done triathlon. He
might have the base. We don't know. We don't have him on the phone.
I don't know from this conversation.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Text him and ask him what his base is. Maybe towards the end of the show, we can get back to him. John, folks, is a guy who I've done a bunch of consults with. That's why I know a little bit about the guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to train, you should book a consult with Vinnie. He's got you.
People like the other day on Twitter, a guy was like, hey, I'm doing this and that, and I want to do this other thing. Can I just do A, B, C, and D? And I hate saying this. I hate selling on Twitter, but it's like, just book 30 minutes and I can cover this conversation for you,
and find out and specifically tailor it to you.
Yeah. 30 minutes can save you a lot of heartache, a lot of money, a lot of time. When I say heartache, I'm talking physical pain and maybe getting hurt and everything else. This is all I do, folks. I'm an exercise physiologist, and I talk to people all day, every day. That's why I know who John Shiroli is, because he's a Paisan, and we've talked a gazillion times. And he does have some autoimmune diseases, and he works around that, and he does an incredible job.
Yeah, for sure. And it seems like with autoimmune, if it's flaring up and it's stressing, that's another thing that you don't want to It's like you want to do the right exercise to keep your autoimmune tamped down. If it's flaring up, you have to make accommodations for that because you don't want to stress the body more and make your autoimmune worse, right?
Exactly right. Look, right now I'm struggling. I've actually done a couple of videos and put them on my VIP group. I couldn't do 5 push-ups
right now.
A few weeks ago.
Oh, a few weeks ago. Yeah, that makes sense. When you're in the middle of the end of the chemo.
It was after chemo, because all during chemo, I kept riding my spinner really, like really slowly. Breaking a sweat, but I wasn't getting lathered up. I was getting on my rowing machine, sometimes for an hour, but not getting lathered up. I mean, my stroke rate was between 16 and 18, and I wasn't pushing hard at all because I didn't have the energy to do that. Every time I tried to go harder, I couldn't. But the one thing I wasn't doing was lifting weights at all.
Right.
And then one day,
you were purposefully not lifting weights during this whole process, right?
Yeah, I couldn't do everything. Yeah, I was too worn out. Just doing the aerobics took it out of me. So this was like about 2 weeks after I finished all the chemo, and I was getting a little stronger on the bike and a little stronger. And I noticed when I was walking, I had a little more pep in my step, that kind of thing. Well, one day I was doing my calisthenics on the floor, and I said, let me do a few push-ups. I got to 4 and I went, you know what? You're doing a
Work
fifth.
To failure.
You're doing a 5th one. I did a 5th one and I crashed down onto the floor. I barely got the 5th push-up out. And the way I described it was, it says Anna audio only. Anna, are you aware of that? Anna? Okay, Anna has gone for a second. We'll see if she comes back. Anna, can you hear me? Okay, she's doing something over there. So anyway, I got to my 5th push up. And the only way I can describe it is it felt like I was trying to do push-ups on the top of Mount Everest. No oxygen. My muscles were burning. It was the most ridiculous feeling I'd ever felt. I rested and I was going to do 5 more. And I think I made it to 5, but I'm not sure, maybe 4. And again, it literally felt like I was doing them on the top of Mount Everest. Okay. Right. It was like all the struggle in the world. And then I did a video and put it on the VIP group. And I said, look, you guys might be at the beginning of your journey too. I think on that day, when I did that video about 2 weeks ago, I did 7 and 5 or 6. So I was able to get a few more out. I'm happy to tell you that today, this has been a couple of weeks of me every other day working, just doing 3 sets of push-ups. Today I did 20, very strict, 15 and 12.
Perfect.
And so my strength is coming back, but you see, it's a long journey. Now I'm supposed to be going over to Mount Whitney in a couple of weeks with one Mr. Don Coddington.
Don Coddington's Friday, 5 o'clock.
So Don and I are going there, and Don is not in the best of shape this time around. He's had some.
Ooh, Don, you just got called out.
No, he's had a medical issue. So we're 2 old farts.
Well, y'all need to be careful up on that mountain.
Well, we've both made a decree that we're not going for the summit.
Okay.
We're going for a walk. If we happen to get to the summit,
good,
great. If we think, we can make it to the summit, but SARS is going to have to helicopter us out of there,
right,
we'll turn around. So that's why I'm telling you this for a reason. I don't think I can make it to the summit this year.
Yeah. No, nor should you push it. It'll be there waiting for you when you're ready.
But we both have some physical things going on. And, but you know what? We're at least going out there. And as
you're doing it.
We might just hang out in Lone Pine and just look at the mountain the whole time. It doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, I'm spending 3 days in Mammoth. Maybe you and your hubby can meet me in Mammoth.
That would be really fun.
Come on, do it.
Are you just going to be hiking around and chilling?
Yeah. I'm going to spend 3 days there before I drop down to Lone Pine.
Fun.
because they have better coffee. I could get better hamburgers and steak if I want to get a steak.
Yeah.
And
Where are you? Well, let's talk off the air because
yeah,
that'd be
well,
fun.
I'm going to stay at 9th. I have a cabin at 9,100 feet, which is, as you know, Mammoth. The base of the town is 8,100. I'm staying at 1,000 feet higher. I'm hoping to get my hematocrit level up.
Yeah.
That's why the doctor put me. I'm on iron supplements now, and I want to see if I can get my hematocrit up for 3 days before I drop down to Lone Pine and then go up. So yeah,
It's only a 3-hour drive from here.
And it would be so cool.
We would have so much fun. And then we could hike around.
Yeah, I know a few hikes there. And
awesome.
Maybe we could get Kati to come up he'll be in Lone Pine with his buddy Dan. And then I'm meeting
we can have steaks at altitude.
Oh, altitude steaks, Anna.
Yeah.
Altitude
that's not a what's his name thing. Hey, listen, I think I screwed up John's text, and this is why you should always have your reading glasses on when you read your friend's text. He actually said 16 weeks out.
Oh.
That changes everything.
I hate to sound like Gilda Radner, but never mind.
Never mind. But that was a good lesson for anybody trying to do it too fast. But he is up to about an hour right now for his long run.
Okay. 16 weeks for John, because
yes.
John is a multi-marathon finisher and a triathlete.
Yes.
The guy knows, he knows his body.
Right.
And if his autoimmune system is not messing him up, 16 weeks for him is way more than enough time because he's got a big base going already. Right?
Great.
So
not 6 weeks, 16 weeks.
Yeah. So John, if you want to call me and have a conversation, let's talk. You don't have to set up a consult. And the reason John can do that is because John has helped me out with some stuff business-wise. So
it's transactional is what you're saying.
It's transactional. And he's in Italian.
The reason John can do that.
I give Italian discounts.
Is because I owe him.
Yeah, I know, John. So the rest of you who have my number, don't call me.
Don't you dare.
Whatever you do, please. No, yeah, John, let's talk. And you don't need a consult. Just text me and we'll figure out a time. And
also that makes me feel better knowing that it's 16 weeks out, because I was like, who would run a marathon in August, middle of August?
Well, that's why I'm sitting there going,
I know, me too. I was like, that sounds terrible. Don't sign up for that.
Decided that it was good to have a marathon in midsummer on the East Coast. That's the dumbest group in the world.
I know.
And
everything makes way more sense now. Oh, okay, October, November. That makes way more sense.
Badwater 135 is meant to be right around summer solstice because they're making it the hardest event in the world. Most marathons are different.
Yes.
Right. So, yeah.
Okay, it's better. It's better. We feel better now.
Yeah, that's a walk in the park.
I'm glad I texted him in the middle of us talking. So, can we talk about Villa Capelli and then get to all things electrolytes, and then we'll wrap it up?
Yeah, we could do that, but tell that because then I need to get more water in me because
yeah.
I had a quad. You know what the quad is?
No.
It's a quad. I make a quadruple espresso.
Oh God.
And this is not.
I'm still wired from this morning. It's only just now noon here, though.
You see, I just got back from leg day. It's like, oh shit, I got to do this.
You have to get the caffeine infused into your muscles.
I have something called a quad.
Yeah.
And I'll put it in this Yeti. I have my little Yeti cup.
I love that little Yeti cup.
And look, it's ceramic on the inside.
Can you get those made like that have NSNG on them or
Pure Coffee Club? You can do all that. I could do all that.
I think that would be awesome.
But I think they're like $1 million each because.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
See, how
much is that?
I don't know. I think 2 of them came like I thought I was.
Yeah, a set of 2.
A set of 2 for like $30. But here's the cool thing.
That's not bad.
Here's the cool thing about these. I take them outside and I drop it on the ground. I drop my really nice porcelain ones. You're not getting that back. You drop these, you pick it up, boom. And they're porcelain. These are porcelain on the inside.
On the inside, yeah.
So, it doesn't mess up the espresso feel or anything else. But I figured out how to make a quad from one. I just put 25 grams.
Okay.
And I run it through. I know exactly because you got to get those. You got to get the grind just right, the espresso grind, because when you put in 25 grams, if you make it too fine, you're going to
You're
you're
gonna
gonna
get a
muddle
little
up.
sand in there.
No, you're not. It's not going to go through because I like to push right through nine bars of pressure. It's alchemy when you're making a good.
Yeah.
So you see, anyone can make a good single or double, right? But when you start putting that much coffee into that filter, number one, I had to buy a different filter, a real high end filter, and then.
Are you talking about the high end metal filters?
Yeah, the filter that goes
super fine sieve.
right.
Sieve. I don't know how to say that word.
Yeah. So you take that, and as a matter of fact, while you're doing the Villa Capelli ad, I'll do a little coffee talk, and then we'll talk about electrolytes.
Okay.
Let me go grab it.
Yeah, go grab it. Okay, guys, Villa Capelli is the best olive oil on the planet. They are longtime sponsors of this show, and you're going to want to have some. And here's why I say that. If you've been having grocery store olive oil, you have been missing out unequivocally. Villa Capelli, the taste of actual real olive oil is incredible. Now, these grocery store olive oils, they're poor quality. They're cut with other oils. They are deodorized. They are chlorophylled for color. And it's trickery is what it is. And it's legally allowed. The FDA lets it happen. So you want to make sure that you are having actual real first press, cold pressed extra virgin olive oil. And that's what Villa Capelli is. They're directly from Puglia, which is the region in Italy on the southeast coast, where it's all nice and flat and where there's millions of kilometers of olive groves. And you can get the Villa Capelli olive oil if you use the discount code Vinnie, Vinnie. You're going to get 10% off your order each and every time. Now, what Vinnie and I always say is get your cart up to around 145, 150 bucks. So get a 3-liter tin, get some of their salts or spices, or maybe one of their flavored oils, and then use the discount code Vinnie. And so then you'll get free shipping, not only free shipping on your order, but also 10% off using Vinnie, Vinnie. Villa Capelli olive oil.
Okay, coffee talk with Vinnie and Anna.
Okay, did you get your?
Yeah, I got all the stuff sitting in
You
front.
better put this in the Amazon store.
You can't, because this is all kinds of specialty stuff.
Oh, is it like
it's
like industry stuff that you have?
Yeah, you might be able to find this product on Amazon. So I'll talk about the product. So, okay, folks, this is when you have espresso, when you're using a real espresso machine. I'm dripping water. So
that he's holding that circle thing that they do in Starbucks.
Right. So
that the barista does.
There's no, it's empty right now.
Right. There's no coffee in there. It's clean.
There's no filter. This is
called. I'm describing that there's no coffee. He's just holding up the thing with the handle.
This is the portafilter is what they call this.
Okay.
And this is the filter that would go in it. You see? Mm-hmm. So you see little holes in it.
So you put 25 grams in that portafilter.
Hang on. Calm down. Now, folks, if you're into coffee, go over to YouTube and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So right here, as you can see, you see how shallow and how small this filter is? Mm-hmm. This is if you want to make one shot of espresso, right? You could put 11, maybe 12 grams of coffee in this.
Okay. And
you could get it pretty fine. Everyone knows how to set their system to make it the right way. Now, if you look at this is a double filter. You see, it's much bigger.
Yes, it has more room.
And it's not tapered down here. It's much bigger. So this you can put, 18, 19 grams in, and you can make a pretty damn good cup espresso with this.
Right.
All right, now I'm going to drop the single filter. Now, this filter is also called the double filter, but look how much bigger it is.
Yeah.
See how much bigger it is?
Yeah, it looks like a dog water bowl, like a mini dog water bowl.
Right. And the holes
has a filter bottom.
The holes in this is much finer. Now, you might find this product on Amazon. And
I bet you could.
It's an espresso filter. They're pretty common. This one is made by, see if I can find who makes this. So, Debbie, it's an Italian company. It's called IMS. This is an IMS filter. This is a very good precision filter. But let me get look how much bigger it's called.
IMS Big Bang Precision Filter Basket 58 millimeter portafilter, 18 to 20 grams.
Yeah, and
here's one for 25.
That's probably about what they cost. So here's the thing. You have to know, like I have a 58 right? And there's 59s and there's 57s. You have to know what size your portafilter is, right? Because they all fit into the different size. So if you know the size of your portafilter, this clamps in there like this. See, it snaps in there. Now with this big filter, what I've learned is if you make your grinds just a little coarser and you go 25, 26 grams and you pack it just right, you don't put that 30 pounds of pressure on the pack. You put 15, 18 pounds. You have to know how to press it. You have to feel it. A lot of espresso making is feeling it, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can make it.
It's a vibe.
It's a feel, how much pressure you put, when you pack it with a tamp.
Okay.
And I figured out exactly how I can make a quad, and it tastes like someone made back to back 4 singles and put it in here, and I can just do it. And I know what level will make it go to make it a quad. I know exactly where 4 ounces is on the 6-ounce mug. And
great.
I got to tell you, it's a game changer when you want to have like a quadruple espresso. Now, many people, they won't want that. But
you think?
when you're me and
I would enjoy it.
When your capacity for caffeine is unlimited,
yeah,
then you might want to go for one of those. Anyway, that's coffee.
Okay, talk. Thank you for coffee talk.
If anyone else, if you guys like coffee talk, let me know. I could talk about coffee.
I actually would like to revisit. So let's put that on a subject for next week. I would like to revisit drip stuff.
Yeah.
Because now there's even newer, since we talked 10 years ago, there's even newer stuff on the market. I know you're abreast of that. So
yeah.
I said breast. Okay. Anyway, electrolytes.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're talking about this because it is scorching out there. I personally wake up and have one of your ultra salts with 8 ounces of water, a cup of water straight away, first thing in the morning before I even have coffee. And then I just kind of take it when I'm feeling hot and flushed or I've just exercised, I'll take more salts. Now there are my feed on Instagram, Vinnie, is pelted with ads for electrolyte powders and Element. Right. And I mean, there's so many. And this one's for women, and this one's for men, and this one has stevia, and this one has sugar. And I just, first of all, I hope that you're trouncing all of them with your ultra salt because it's so good. But it seems to have like people are getting it from Costco, and they talk to us about how often we should be doing these electrolytes, which ones are bullshit, which ones are good.
All right, I'm copying something and sending it to you. It's from my neighbor Rob. He wrote this to me 2 days ago. So you don't think I'm bullshitting? People go, "Oh yeah, he's got a neighbor named Rob, and this really happened." All right, Anna, hit copy.
Do people just listen to you just to call bullshit on you?
Yeah, pretty much. All right, I want you to read exactly what Rob wrote here because.
Okay.
All right.
So I have started when playing pickle to pop an ultra salt before I play, and then one during play and one after. I sweat like a whore in church, like easily a pint just from what I wring from my shorts and shirt. I'm finding I don't bonk like I used to. Like after an hour 15 of play, I'm still feeling fine and not gassed. That's a great, he needs to paste that into a review on the website.
Okay, Rob is a 52-year-old attorney, and he goes about 6'3".
He's my age.
Yeah, 6'3", 6'4".
Yeah.
Right? Very good shape.
Summer in Virginia is for real with humidity. It is
last week when he wrote this, it was just a scorcher the entire week.
Mm-hmm.
And Rob wasn't a collegiate athlete. The thing with the sticks where they hit each other's fingers.
Lacrosse. Yep.
So Rob
huge on the East Coast as well.
Rob is in great shape, right? Just a great, play collegiate sports, the whole deal. And he writes this to me, and then if I showed you all the back and forth, we went back and forth about 5 times that night. And, he was, I said, Rob, you did okay, but you can do even better. And I gave him the protocol of what to take and how much to take. And then he wrote back to me several days later. He didn't write back. I'm sorry. He saw me in the backyard and he talked over the fence. He's like, this is amazing. Why doesn't everyone know this? And my answer to him was, I don't know. It's because Gatorade and Sport Aid and Liquid IV and all these sugar drink companies have us believing that you need to drink their crap in order to get electrolytes, and you're not going to feel any better. The sugar is going to actually start to make you feel worse, right? You might feel better instantly, but it's not going to hold out. When you're taking real electrolytes without sugar and you're getting it with the proper amount of water, Rob is finding now, he goes, I didn't know. I wish I had known this when he goes, well, I was playing college sports. Why didn't they know that?
Yeah. You talk about, you guys knew it when you were playing. Nobody told us.
They used to give us salt. It was just straight salt tablets. We would just guzzle salt tablets and just drink them down during practice and everything before practice. The fact that other people didn't know this is ridiculous. And I told
no idea.
My good friend from college, Mike Fiducia, his son was the water boy for their team in Florida. And I sent the team for free 2 cases of Ultra Salt, like, I don't know, 50 something things. And they ended up winning like a championship or something. Right. And Mike's kid became the hero. Right. Which made me very happy. He's a kid. He like his dad, he loves sports and everything, but he couldn't play. He's got Down syndrome, right?
Right.
So
That's right.
And so he wanted to be part of the team, and he took hydration. Andrew took hydration seriously.
Yes.
And this kid, a couple of players cramped up one day in a game, and Andrew took that like he did it to him. He felt like he did it. And when Mike wrote to me, I said, Mike, you tell Andrew he's going to have the best product on the market coming his way. And I shipped
so awesome
boxes and boxes for his team. Mike went and told the coach, hey, this is my friend. This is the stuff. Andrew's going to be handing this out. They cleared it. And no more cramps that year. Most valuable player was the kid that never walked on the field. The kid with Down syndrome, Andrew.
I love it.
That's the way it goes sometimes, right?
Right.
So why do people not know this? I don't know. So the protocol. In this bottle, 40 ounces, I have 3 Ultra Salts. Why? Why am I drinking so much? Because when I'm done here, it's hot as hell here. I'm going to get on the water in a rowboat for 2 hours. And as you know, this morning I did leg day. That's right. I'm doubling up. I'm trying to get in shape so I can do something when I get to Mammoth.
Right.
Right. So yes, and I'm not rowing hard. I'm just going out there and I'm going to just, frolic around the river and go down the course and back a couple of times and call it a day. But at least I'm moving, and it's going to be hot as hell out there.
Right.
I'm keeping the electrolytes going all day. It's not just, I'm in the boat and I'm sweating. Let me take it now. It's already too late. You start this stuff early in the day. The other day, the second day of the Tour de France was super hot. Guys were dropping like flies. What's his name? Cavendish, who just beat Eddie Merckx's record for the most wins in the Tour de France. Cavendish almost dropped out on the second day. All these guys were sulking, and it's because they can't get enough electrolytes in them. You can't just drink sports drinks. These guys have to go in every night and just fuel up on all the salt and electrolyte they can for the next day. And drinking Liquid IV and Sport Aid and Gatorade is not going to get you there.
No.
They can't just...
Gatorade's just a sugar drink.
It's all just sugar drinks, Anna. And these guys can't do it, right? Because they have to eat. All of these guys at night, you think they're doing pasta feeds every night for 3 weeks at the Tour de France. They're having red meat, pork, chicken. These guys are eating big protein and fat meals. They can't just sit there and keep drinking sugary drinks. It doesn't work for them because they're on sugar all day when they're on the bike.
Right.
When they get off, they need substance. They need protein. They need fat. Right. And they need electrolytes. They're not taking the bullshit stuff. Trust me on this. Right. So in order to get the right stuff, you have to get it in the right combination. Now, I can tell you with Ultra Salt that for every 12 to 15 ounces, you can take one. I tell people 15 to 20 to play it safe, because if you're somewhat dehydrated, you don't want any less than 15 ounces going in with an Ultra Salt, right? Because you want to keep that level right where it is. You don't want to be too low, because having too much salt without enough water can cause dehydration, just as much as hyponatremia can cause you to wash out your electrolytes if you have too much water without taking in any electrolytes. Did I explain that in a way that could be understood, Anna?
Yeah. So how do you know? Like, you just feel thirsty? Like, how do you know you haven't had enough water versus the electrolyte? What are your signs?
Well, you'll notice that you're fading a bit, and some people think, "Oh, I'm running out of energy." No, you got to think of electrolytes as not an energy source. You know, think. Let's use a car engine as an example, because most people can understand this. What do you put in your car? Well, not you, Anna, because you have an electric car. What does your husband?
I have a gas car.
Okay, what do you put in your gas car to make it go?
Gas.
Okay, so that's the energy source, right?
Yeah.
But your car also has oil in it, right?
Yeah.
Is that an energy source?
I don't know. I don't know how cars work.
The answer is no.
No, it's oil.
Yeah, but try to run your car without the oil and watch what happens. It's going to.
It doesn't work.
Right. So think of your food, think of your fat, your protein, you know, the macros, think of those as an energy source.
Okay.
And think of your electrolytes as being the oil. If you don't have it, the engine is going to seize up. The body's going to seize up. Right. Think of the electrolytes as your oil source, keeping your body oiled up. It's keeping your body running efficiently, getting the energy, getting the Krebs cycle to work correctly, getting the mitochondria to do what you want it to do, getting everything to do what you want it to do. You got to stay well oiled.
What about the sensation of there's been times where I feel like I have a headache, and if I take an ultrasalt, I notice that the headache goes away without me having to take Advil. What is that about?
That's part of dehydration. Remember, when you get a hangover, it's dehydration.
And that's another application.
Right? Oh, yeah. And Rob and I talked about that, because Rob said, what about these new things on the market here? Let me see if I can find. I'm going to go back to Rob's email. He was talking about they went to the beach and the whole thing. Let's see. He asked me about, let's see if I can find it here really fast, because we went back. Okay. Hangover, pre-hangover things. Some focus on
they're everywhere.
Some more they use NAC and L-theanine and GABA and DHM and all these. He goes, now they're saying that that's how you beat a hangover. My answer back to him was this. I don't have to read it because I know what I wrote back to him. I said, your kid goes to college, right? Whenever they have too much to drink, what do college kids do nowadays? They go to an infusion center and they get loaded up on electrolytes so that they can drink again that night. What infusion centers do is they pump them full of electrolytes so that they can drink again the next night. They're not filling them full of NAC or L-theanine or GABA or DHM or any of this other bullshit. The way you beat a hangover, when you get a headache, that means you're getting dehydrated. Now, if your headache goes on for too long and you try to fix it with ultra salts, it's not going to work. You got to catch it early. Or if you don't want to get the headache, start earlier than that.
I'm going to tell you guys something. 2 ultra salts, a big glass of water, and 1 bare aspirin before you go to bed. If you've had any alcohol, you will not have a hangover. And Vinnie, if you marketed that, you would be a bajillionaire. Because that's all it takes.
Let me write it down right here. How to become.
Because here's the thing. I go to the food shows. I do all these events.
It sounds like a
bajillionaire.
B-A.
Go ahead and put that on your pitch deck.
A-I-L-L-I-O-N-A-I-R-E. B-A-G-I-L-I-O-N.
L-L-I-O-N.
I-R-E. Bajillionaire.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta let Serena know we're gonna become bajillionaires.
Yeah. And to plan accordingly. You might want to get a guy.
Yeah.
You get a financial planning guy.
Chris, can I use Chris?
No, not for financial planning. Sorry, Chris. You need a fiduciary because you're going to be bajillionaires.
Might have to call up Elon Musk and see who.
Yeah, call Elon, get his guy.
Yeah,
because you're going to need a guy. No, but seriously, there are so many hangover products on the market. And I got to say, as Americans, we must be enamored with these things, because all I'm hearing is that all these companies that have hangover products get funding. Or if you put like one adaptogen in your product, all of a sudden it's revolutionary and you get $10 million in funding. And I'm like, or you could just take 2 of Vinnie's ultra salts and a bear and a glass of water and remind yourself next time to not drink so much. Done.
Yeah. I mean, all you need is one hangover. I mean, as you know, I never get drunk, Anna.
I do know that.
And well, I don't drink a whole lot, but when I do drink, I never get drunk. And the reason being is I know to stop.
Right.
One.
No, it's not worth ruining your next day.
It's not even worth ruining that evening. Drunk is only fun for you. It's not fun for the people around you.
Oh, that's true.
You know that song, I started thinking you ain't much fun since I stopped drinking.
That should be like the AA theme song.
I think it is.
Because I always, that's when whenever I do my long swaths of time without drinking, I'm like, everyone's annoying. I'm gonna go.
All right, and I think we've done this show.
We did it.
Anna Vocino has BOGO 25. Let me explain the way that works. You go to eathappykitchen.com, and when you get to checkout, if you have yourself one dill and one taco,
a twin pack of each. They're sold as twin packs. Yep,
a twin pack, and then you get basically 25% off of half of one of them, right?
Yeah, of one of them. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's what BOGO means. Buy one, get another.
Buy one, get one for 25% off.
Yeah. So go do that. Also, don't fall asleep on the gravies. I mean, Marie is over there writing handwritten calligraphy letters to Anna, love letters to my mom, an Italian woman writing love letters to Anna about what she puts in a jar. You want this stuff, folks. For me to rave about it I don't have to do this. I don't have to say anything about Anna's products at all on this show.
You don't, but I massively appreciate it.
But every time Serena leaves, and boy, she leaves a lot, that bitch.
How dare she?
How dare she leave? But when she's gone, I rely on Anna's stuff. I rely on 2 things. I rely on the powders, all three of the powders. And I rely on the jars of gravy. She calls them sauces. Go check it out. Go to eathappykitchen.com. Check all of that out. And
I can't tell you the number of times people write me going, I looked at your site. I don't see any gravy. And I'm like, oh, you're misunderstanding.
Yeah, it's sauce. Folks, she also has a Substack thing. I don't know how to tell you guys to get there.
AnnaVocino.substack.com. It's where I'm publishing all of my recipes. With the exception of what comes out in cookbooks. It's just all at Substack. It's just a platform.
Yeah. So don't write to me and go, hey,
it's just crazy. There's literally hundreds of free recipes I have out there. You don't even have to buy the books, guys.
Yeah.
There's enough.
If you didn't make it into the VIP group, you're missing out because I'm doing exercises in there.
Closed now?
By the time this comes out, it's closed.
Okay.
I'm sorry you missed out. We're doing exercises in there now. Leona is working on a VIP cap. Me and Miss Leona, we're kicking around ideas.
Love it.
Those people are going to be able to purchase a cap. Very exclusive club, Anna. And twice a month we do a check-in. So everyone's loving that. So, and I'm loving it. I'm getting a lot out of it. So sorry if you missed out. I might open it up again in the fall. You never know. Maybe I'll wait until Christmas time. We'll see how I feel. Okay? Not how you feel.
It's up to Vinnie's whims. His capriciousness.
My whimsies.
His whimsies.
Yeah. So go check all that out. Rate and review this podcast. Look, don't just go yada, yada, yeah, right, baby. Go rate and review. There are now like 5 million podcasts out there. And you get lost in a frame. When we started out, there was less than 200,000 podcasts. Now there's over 5 million.
Do people know that we've been podcasting since 2012?
That's 12 years. 12 years of podcasting. We've done well over 2,500 shows. And if you guys want to be part of that and the growth of this podcast, go rate and review. We also have the Superfan page. I see everyone who gives us money for Superfan. That's how we keep this show free. This has been one hell of an effort. You guys have allowed me to keep this show free by donating small amounts of money, kind of like PBS, this sort of thing. And sometimes I take some of the money from the phone calls whenever we
And by the way, you've kept this thing going even while undergoing chemo treatments. You've not stopped.
Yeah, we didn't stop for chemo.
No break.
We're like the mailman. We don't stop for Christmas, New Year's.
I tell Vinnie almost every day that we should quit.
Oh,
and he says no.
Everybody
he says, no, Anna, we're going to keep going.
Debbie keeps talking about, I don't know how long we're going to do this. And Leona is just too nice to say anything.
But we know she's thinking it.
Oh, of course.
We know what she's thinking.
I know. We know she knows what we know she knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? She's just too kind.
Well put.
Yeah. But that's about it. You know what? I was enjoying that song by Dire Straits so much.
Oh.
You're
going to keep it going?
How about we go out on it? You want to go out on it? Because, okay, let's go out on it.
Bye, YouTube.
I'm going to pick it up where we left off. So on behalf of Anna Vocino, my name is Vinnie Tortorich. Put life into living and do it with a little bit more of the Dire Straits.